Okay, let's dive into this. If you're tuning into this explainer, chances are you felt it, right? That familiar, heavy anxiety, that creeping sensation that you're somehow falling behind just because you don't have this massive, grand master plan for your life. Well, let me tell you, you are absolutely not alone. Today, we're exploring some incredibly profound insights on exactly this, the actual cure to feeling lost in life. Let's unpack it. Seriously, we've all been there, just staring at the ceiling late at night, asking ourselves, how do I find my purpose? It's a heavy question. And let's be totally honest with ourselves here. There is this crushing, universal pressure to have everything perfectly figured out. We're expected to make all the right choices, pick the perfect career, find the absolute ideal partner, and just magically become the right person. It's exhausting just thinking about it, isn't it? The source material uses this really powerful metaphor to explain this feeling. Imagine you're dropped right in the middle of a vast desert. You've got zero map, absolutely no specific destination, and someone just looks at you and says, find your way home. Sounds literally impossible, right? Having completely limitless options but zero real direction makes life feel so incredibly overwhelming. There are a million places you could go, but no defined path to actually get there. And yet society somehow acts like we should just implicitly know our path. Like as soon as we hit the magic number of 18, boom, we're suddenly supposed to know exactly what we want to do for the next 50 years and exactly who we want to be. But with an infinite sea of options staring you in the face, how on earth are you supposed to pick just one? And what if you pick the wrong one? That paralyzing fear of failure is exactly what makes it impossible to focus on anything at all. What's truly fascinating here is how this lack of a grand life direction bleeds directly into our everyday habits. Think about it. How many times have you sat down to start a project only to casually pick up your phone and suddenly an entire hour vanishes? We beat ourselves up, right? We think we're just inherently lazy procrastinators. But the source points out something totally crucial. We don't succumb to these distractions because we're lazy. We do it because we lack a clear path forward. When you don't know where you're ultimately heading, every single tiny distraction feels way more urgent and important than the difficult work sitting right in front of you. Section 1. Distractions and false finish lines. The illusion of progress. Now, we don't just distract ourselves with our phones. We do it on a massive, life-altering scale. 42 kilometers. That is the exact length of a marathon. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how so many people in their 20s suddenly decide that running a marathon is the magical cure to their quarter-life crisis? Why do you think that happens? Well, the source gives us a really surprising insight into this. A marathon, as incredible of a physical feat as it obviously is, often serves as a highly sophisticated distraction from real progress. It gives you a temporary, manufactured purpose. When you train for a marathon, you wake up every single day for 3 months with a crystal clear goal. Every step has a meaning. It perfectly distracts you from the terrifying uncertainty of your actual job, your relationships, and your future. For that brief window of time, you don't feel lost because the path is literally marked right out for you. And hey, it's not just marathons. Think about how we divide up our week. 5 days, right? 4 of them are just spent waiting, and only one tiny sliver is actually the weekend, or Friday. So many people live their entire lives literally waiting for Friday. They effectively treat the other 4 days of the work week as if they don't even matter at all. We book vacations months in advance. We count down the days to summer, essentially treating our lives like a series of waiting rooms between these brief, manufactured moments of joy. So, the crucial point here is this. We're addicted to finish lines, addicted to milestones. We live for these checkpoints because they give us a manufactured reason to keep moving. But while constantly chasing the next vacation or the next big event offers a temporary sense of fulfillment, it absolutely does not solve the root problem. It doesn't cure that lingering, sinking feeling of being lost in the grand scheme of things. Section 2. The Columbus Mindset. Navigating the unknown. Escaping this trap requires a fundamental shift in how we view our journey. Consider Christopher Columbus for a second. When he sailed the Atlantic, he actually had no earthly idea where he was going. He didn't have a perfectly mapped out destination, but he kept sailing anyway. Why? Because he firmly believed that something was out there, and he trusted the process of just moving forward until he found it. So, embracing this Columbus mindset means accepting that you don't know the final destination right now and realizing that that is completely, 100% okay. You have to trust that something meaningful is out there, stop agonizing over finding your one true meaning today, and actually live in the present. You might not know your purpose right now, but I can assure you, the anxiety you're feeling about not having it all mapped out, it's only temporary. Section 3. Training without a date, the shift in perspective. We hear the cliche all the time, right? Life is a marathon. But instead of treating life like a race where you know exactly where the finish line is, try treating it like you're training for a marathon without knowing the actual race date. Today, you train. Tomorrow, you prepare. And on some unknown date in the future, everything clicks. Think about it. If you knew you had a race coming up but just didn't know when, you'd still practice. You'd still put the work in. Your only job right now is to just keep moving forward with life, day by day, step by step. Because I promise you, one day you're going to look back and realize, this is what I was preparing for all along. Even if writing that very first line of a script or sending that one email or doing that one mundane task feels totally pointless today, it's not. These small moments compound. The preparation will eventually make complete, beautiful sense when the opportunity finally arrives. And while you're in that preparation phase, it is incredibly liberating to just forget the legacy. Focus on breathing, living, and having fun. We spend so much time obsessing over being remembered or leaving this massive, earth-shattering legacy behind that we completely forget to live in the moment we're currently in. The Source advises us to just value the simple, profound act of being alive right now. Stop grasping onto things that haven't even happened yet. We constantly paralyze ourselves with one single question. Will this ever happen? When our goals feel too big, we freeze up. We don't even start because we are terrified of making the wrong choice. Well, the advice here is incredibly powerful. Stop asking if your goals will happen. Instead, start living and working right now as if you already know for an absolute fact that they will. Section 4. The real cure. Trusting the process. So what's the actual actionable solution here? It really comes down to this. Show up every day. Be present and make small improvements. That's literally it. It's not about finding some perfect, magical purpose written in the stars. And it's definitely not about chasing the next weekend or signing up for yet another marathon. It is simply about keeping your forward momentum. If you just focus on showing up and making those tiny improvements, the path is going to naturally reveal itself to you in time. As we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a deeply profound thought from the source material. I want you to think about this really carefully. Maybe we aren't lost in life because we don't have a purpose. Maybe it's because we don't know how to live without one. Think about that for a second. We are so conditioned to need a finish line that the absolute absence of one feels like a failure, rather than what it truly is, freedom. Stop obsessing over the destination, trust your daily preparation, and give yourself permission to just live. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.